Hey, great day to you all. I hope that you guys were all able to wake up super grateful to be alive again another day in this experience. And I hope you've set that high vibe. Telling yourself that you're amazing and you're capable and you're beautiful and you are smart and you are flowing like water over rocks, smooth and with ease, and finding your flow. And staying authentically you and true to your heart. Well, let's talk about that today. You know that your word is everything? Your word means more than your bank account does? Do you know that your word means everything? Factually. Let's talk about it. You know, and depending on who you're showing up to be in this world, is as reliable as your word is. Factually. And a lot of people value somebody's word according to what they have, or what credentials they may have acquired, or whatever circumstances or situations or whatever. But credentials don't mean shit when it comes to word. And things that they've acquired in their life, it doesn't mean anything when it comes to their word. Okay, when somebody gives you their word and commits to something, well, when somebody shows up and commits to something, okay, let me give you an example. When I give my word to somebody about doing something, well, to me, my word is everything. And if I give my word to somebody about something I'm going to do, or something I'm going to show up for, or something that I am going to comply with, I do it. Nobody has to chase me for it. And it seems like the norm nowadays has become a lot of people giving their word about things, but never following through. And, you know, guys, it's really messed up when people do that. It really is. But it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. Today, I want you guys to look at, more so now than ever, who you're showing up to be in this life. Are you showing up hiding behind your credentials? Are you hiding behind a mask? Are you hiding behind some view that you want the world to see you? Are you out here on social media painting your life to be such a walk in the park, but it's a barn full of shit? Literally. Are you out here trying to find happiness because you just don't have it within you? Are you out here looking to feel a little bit better because your thoughts are very depressing? Have you allowed anxiety to take control of you? Because I want you to understand that your word is just as good as your state of being. That's the correlation I'd like you all to make. And your state of being, who you choose to be, and the state that you choose to embody, well, that's the frequency of your being. And your word is as valid as the state that you are occupying. So today, I encourage everybody to rip off the mask. Do not wear a mask for anybody, because you are muffling your authentic self. And when you give your word to somebody about anything, well, I would hope and pray that you're giving your word from a stance and a state of being that is solid. Because unless the person is solid in their skin and has clarity of their heart's desires, well, then their word is equivalent to the state of being that they are. And you guys need to know that. I don't want you guys judging people for people not complying or not showing up or things that they're not following up on their word. Okay? Because a lot of people can tell us whatever they want. And they do. And they will. Actually, people will tell you everything that they think that you want to hear. But that's just as valid as their word is. See the correlation? When you're depending on anybody in this world other than yourself, you better see who they are as a being before you put your reliance in the words that they're telling you. If you know somebody is not solid and secure in their own skin and doubts their own being and doubts their own capacity, well, then you must also see them for who they are. And nothing but. Nothing more, nothing less. I encourage you guys to see people for who they are. Who they show up as. Not for you. You worry about who you're showing up in the world as. But I want you to clearly analyze the people that are around you today. And what people tell you. And how they show up for you. And who are they when they show up for you? Because if somebody is not living authentically genuine to their heart's desires and is wearing a mask to the world and is not genuine in their own being, well, don't expect them to be anything but that way with you too. And you can't. And that's where you're going to lose out, is by having greater expectations for somebody than they can themselves deliver. That's what happens. That's where a lot of conflict and chaos comes into play also. Factually. Because we go with what people tell us. Naturally. Why? Because this is how we're programmed to be. But I encourage you guys today not to put hope and faith in anybody that is giving their word to you unless they are solid in their own skin. Because unless they're solid in their own skin and know themselves and are being authentic to the world with no mask, well, then you are getting the same version of them. Now, what do I mean about masks and all of this stuff? Listen, every person, unless they are solid and secure in their own being and authentically them, no matter what circumstance, scenario, or situation. So what does that mean, really? Well, I am Toby, and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I don't care what face is in front of me. I don't change. I don't change when it comes to family. I do not change when it comes to friends. I do not change when it comes to interactions. I do not change at all. People know what they can get from me every time. Why? Because I'm solid in my skin and I'm authentically me. And I don't wear a mask. And I don't need to conform or change according to what situation, scenario, or circumstance I'm in. I'm me across the board. Well, most people, they're a certain way with their friends because they want to be loved by their friends. So they'll do things and they'll say things with their friends that they would not do at work or with their family or with whatever. It's all about acceptance and wanting to be loved. Well, people also change according to family. Okay? So, people are one way with their friends because they want to be loved and accepted. Well, then they go to their family and they disguise themselves again because they don't want their family to know who they really are. In fear of what? Being judged, denied, not loved, not accepted, outcasted. Okay? So they hide and they just conform and they do what their parents want and they literally hide themselves from their family. This is why when shit hits the fan with people, their family becomes shocked because, well, that's not possible for my son. Well, it is if your son's hiding who he really is to you, or it is if your daughter's really hiding who they are to you because they're scared you'll judge them or not love them. You see, then what happens? These people go to work and they wear a different mask at work because then they want to be accepted and loved and appreciated and validated at work. So then again, they're going to act a different way. People change according to situations, scenarios, circumstances, interactions, titles. Titles are a big thing because people they change. Because I was talking to my lawyer, or I was talking to a cop, or I was talking to whatever, all of these authority figures. Well, I don't change when I'm talking to a cop. I don't change when I'm talking to a boss. I don't change when I'm talking to anybody. No matter who it is. That's what truly being solid in your skin is across the board. I don't hide who I am for my family. No, I speak openly and truthfully, and that's it. Who doesn't like it? I don't give a fuck. I'm the same way with my friends. They know what they're getting from me. All the time. There's no unpredictability when you are not wearing masks. I don't change. I don't care who it is. I don't care about titles. And as far as I'm concerned, even when it comes to lawyers, sorry, but I have made lawyers' jobs easier by what I've provided for them to do their job. Okay? So, titles are not relevant. Because titles do not give self-mastery. And anybody who's wearing a title or a credential that is not self-mastered is running on repeat anyway. And their word factually means nothing to me. See? This is the point I'd like you guys to make. Because everybody seems to be putting trust in everything but themselves. And trusting everybody else's word according to credentials or according to the mask that they're wearing. If you really knew who these people were outside of work or outside of their family, or if you really saw them, authentically them, I highly doubt that you would take their word for as you do today. The only trust I want you guys to have is in your own word and in your own state of being. And be so solid in your skin that you do not change ever according to people, places, things, titles, labels. Because we all think, we have to act a certain way because, we want to be loved. And even with a partnership, even when it comes to a boyfriend or a girlfriend, people even change there too. Well, I'm authentically me. You come and you take me for who I am, or keep it fucking moving. Because I'm not going to sacrifice my long-term wellness for any instant gratification of any kind. I don't care. This is what solid in your skin really is about. This is what self-mastery is about. Not feeling like you have to be loved and approved by everybody else because you can't do that for you. And that's facts. You must validate yourself first. You must own who you are first. You must own that you have a unique individual experience here that has nothing to do with anybody else or shouldn't be governed by anybody else. You should be so solid in your skin every day when you wake up as a brand new creation that you are not putting your wellness into the hands of anybody else. Ever. According to a title. How many people have trusted the doctors? Hey, if I trusted the doctors and believed what they had to say, I'd be dead 7 times. Okay? I do not care who is telling me anything. Me being solid in my skin and not wearing a mask anytime gives me the clarity to see everything coming at me. And I can feel whether somebody is true to themselves or not. This is why I encourage everybody to get self-mastered. Why? Because it eliminates the bullshit in your life that is right now presently controlling you. People may say, how is it controlling me? Well, if you've got to switch up every fucking time you go out with your friends or your family or every interaction, you got to change who you are? Well, there is a problem, don't you think? This is what I mean. I don't change. No, I get wiser though. And I get more strong in my own skin and with the power of my own word. But that's all I need to be. For me, it's not to have any power or any influence on anybody else. It's to be able to influence my own life. Because it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. This is what I'd like you guys to associate it with. I want people to become so strong in their own beings that they're not relying on shaky fucking people who are wearing masks to the world. That's why I tell people all the time, yo, leave your mask at home because I see right through it. And if you come with a mask, not only will I rip it off with truth, but I will, with a conversation, disrupt everything you've ever believed to be about your own being. Factually. Without a hiccup. And without a hesitation. And if you need a check, oh, trust me, I'm that one that will give you that check. I don't wear a mask. I have no interest to smother my authentic self. Why would I? This authentic self and being solid in my skin, hey, kick-started my kidneys again. Hey, has my liver fully functioning? Hey, has me fucking breathing today. You think I'm going to tone that down or change it for anybody? Or wear a mask? Fuck no. For what? The power of my being has kept me alive and has made it possible for me to beat death 7 times. You don't think that that's my source that I trust first before any living, breathing human being? Hey, I don't know too many people that are solid as I am. Really, I don't. Like, they're still wearing masks. They're one person for their friends, one person for their family, one person for their boss, one person for their wants, one person for their partner. But they're a fucking bag of 5 different people. Nah, you don't get that with Tobi. Tobi is what she is and who she is, and I don't change. Yeah, situation, circumstance changes. Yes, I get wiser every day. Yes, I become a better human being every day, but that's the only thing that happens. Do I trust people? I trust them to be exactly who they show up to be, and that is it. That's the extent of my trust for anybody. That I trust the energy of what their being is and what it's telling me. And that's the only thing I can trust when it comes to another being. Factually. So yes, people will give me a song and a dance and a fucking bullshit story. And yes, I'll be quiet about it. I'll let them think that, oh, okay, she doesn't see it. Why? Because I don't want to sit there and haggle with some dumb fuck who thinks that they've pulled the wool over my eyes. I leave it alone. And the learning in that for me is, okay, I know I can't trust this person, not for the life of me. That's all the learning I need to know. And you know what? If our body is always trying to keep us safe and our programming is always trying to keep us safe, well, our energy and our ability to really hone in on energy and feel it is to keep us safe too. Because no matter what mask people want to wear and how much they want to change, the energy of their being does not lie. Their mouth fucking does, but their energy of their being never lies. I encourage you all today to not put your life force in the dependency of anybody showing up in your life, giving you a song and dance according to a mask. Ever. See people for who the fuck they're showing up to be in your life. Because that'll save you heartaches, headaches, and possibly a heart attack. Literally. You know, some things just have to be said. Well, you can count on me to say it. And I've had a lot of questions over the past couple of days. Tobi, so, you know, what are your hopes and your goals? Listen, I have beat death 7 times. What more do you fucking want me to want in this world? Simple. Honestly. So all the questions about what's next, fucking do what I've done, and I'll ask you what's next. Simple. Okay? What will I do with the rest of my life? Whatever the fuck I want to. Simple. No, it doesn't have to do with making millions and sucking loads of cash off. Listen, I know what it is to live in a minimal lifestyle. And I know what it is to have what I need to get by. That's how it's been all my life. And I'm grateful for it. One of the questions was, Tobi, how can you be living what you're living and still be grateful? How could I not be? I am breathing. Do you not get it in your head that I have beat death 7 times? I don't give a shit what I have to live, eh? I don't. I'm still breathing. And that's all I care about. Factually. So, no, I don't give a shit about what's to come because tomorrow's not owed to me. I'm so grateful to be just breathing that nothing else matters. I don't care what I have to live. I don't care how hard it is. Because you know what? I am one tough-ass woman. That I give myself. I am strong, I am capable, and nothing stops me. Not even death. So, yes, I am grateful to be alive. Yes, I am grateful to be sitting here as a loving individual after nothing in the world has shown me genuine love. Yes, I am very grateful for that. I am grateful that the world and my life didn't turn me into a bitter, miserable old bitch. Like my grandmother. Okay? Simple. And yes, I'll say it. And everybody saw how I was catering to my grandmother at 100. Yes, but does it take away the truth that she's hated me from before I was born? No, it doesn't take away that truth. It doesn't take away the truth of her telling me that she hated me since my mother told her that she was pregnant with me. No, I didn't tell you guys all of that though, eh? So I beck and called for a bitch that hates me. Yes. Because it's the right thing to do. See, not too many people can be Tobi. And as I'm going and energetically feeding my grandmother energy to get her out of the hospital, to return her back home where she wanted to die, Still for her to admit that she treated me fucked up all my life. And she made me suffer intentionally. Yeah, she fucking did. Well, did it stop me from at 100 years old loving her the way that I did? No. Because that's me. You know how grateful I am not to be sitting here hating the world and everybody who did me wrong all my life? No, I don't hate anybody. Why? Because I don't hate myself. And I don't hold vengeance against people. They have to live what they have to live for their learning. I don't give a shit what happens or comes my way. Why? Because I can fucking take it. Whereas somebody else can't. For all those that didn't know my father and don't know who my mother is, well, the combination of those two warriors, how could I be any less of a person than I am today? Factually. My father may have been a horror story to the household, but he was a hero to all outside of it. Okay? No matter how he was a drunk, or no matter how violent he was. His heart, my father had a very big heart. Seriously. Well, so does my mother. And the combination of those two, having the hearts that they do, has enabled me to have the heart that I do have. Okay? And yes, I am not sitting here with a hardened heart, even if it's scarred by experience. I love myself, I love my life, and I love the experience of what I've lived. It's made me who I am. And it's made me uniquely me. And it's made me solid in my skin, able to sacrifice for the wellness of another, even living in lack. These are gifts that people acquire. The empathy to feel what's going on with another without them opening their mouth. You think I acquired that from having a great life? You think that, why do people get so in tune like I do? It starts off from when you're born into an environment that you're always on high gear because you're always having to be on guard, preparing for what's going to hurt you next. Well, that's what I was born into, and that's what I grew up in. So that's what makes you hyper-vigilant at first, because of the hurt. And you got to watch every single person coming at you because they're going to hurt you. Doesn't matter what face or title is attached to it. Well, that was what I was born into. How can I not associate what hurt is? How could I not associate what judgment is? Before I was even in school, I had been judged and already put in my brain that I was never going to amount to anything, that I was a product of my parents, that my father was a drunk, that I should have never been born, that I'm a real fucking problem. All of that shit put into my brain before I even started school. Okay? The violence that I had to watch, the violence that I had to feel constantly. No wonder why my school, Knowlton Academy, became my family, became my friends, became my life. That's why I love doing sports. I would go to sports. I would do all the activities just so that I wouldn't have to be home. Okay. You don't think I know what it is? Well, throughout it all, I've always been a good person. Why? Because I know what suffering feels like. Why would I want that for another? I know what it feels like to be unsure of myself. Why would I want anybody to feel like that? I know what it feels like to be brutally abused without even being old enough to keep yourself safe or defend yourself. I know what that feels like. That didn't even harden my heart. I know what it feels like to be raped more than a handful of times throughout your teenage years. Brutally. By gunpoint, by knife point, by all kinds of shit. The stories that I could sit here and tell you, you wouldn't even believe. Factually. Okay? Yes, I have been raped with a gun to my head. Yes, I have been. Am I sitting here affected by it? Well, fuck no, because I'm solid in my skin. Am I sitting here affected by, my father was a severe drunk who would come into the house and smash everything and wake us up out of bed and pull us out of our beds? As a child? Why? Because of a bar brawl or a problem that had nothing to do with us? Or a stint with his family that he couldn't deal with, so he would come home and cause havoc in his own family? Come on. It doesn't matter what anybody has had to live in their experience, they can be okay. And I'm just tired of people making all the excuses about why they're fucked up. Well, if I wanted to use excuses to be a fucked up person, trust me when I tell you I have thousands of them. Thousands of reasons. And it's all a choice not to. I don't care what anybody's lived. Because it definitely doesn't look like my life rap sheet. Okay? So everybody who wants to think, okay, well, she just beat death. No. I have had 49 years of a hell life. And still be okay. How do I know I'm still okay? Because my face is healing. How could I not be okay? You don't acquire healing if you're not okay. So this is why I come out here as raw and real as I am. And as truthful as I am with everybody. And you know how many people tell me, Tobi, how can you tell people what has happened with you? Well, how could I not? Letting them know about it makes them understand that their shit is nothing. It's nothing. Most of their suffering is just produced from their own thoughts of it all. Well, if I can push myself to get over everything that I've ever lived and turn every pain into a power and turn every situation into learning and let it all fuel me to be a better person in this world, well, then there's no excuse for anybody else. And I'm no better than anybody. And I don't have anything that nobody else has. But who are you showing up to be in this world? Because I know who I'm showing up to be as. Somebody who's solid in their skin. Somebody who is a very loving individual. Somebody that, yes, if somebody else needs it more than I do, I will give it to them. I don't care if I have it or not. That's just who I am. Yes, that has forced me into situations. I don't care. Listen, there's nothing that can happen to me today that has been worse than what I've already lived. And the accumulation of it, I don't know another person that would survive everything that I have and be okay. And not be totally shitted out of their mind right now like I spent years of being. Because don't get me wrong, I spent years drunk all day long on tons of coke, tons of speed, tons of ecstasy, just to stop what I was feeling because of everything I'd been carrying all my life. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to work through it. I didn't know how to carry it all. So I needed to self-soothe. Well, I had to figure all of that out and forgive it all and accept it all and really say, okay, why am I torturing myself on top of the way my life has? I can't do that. If there's got to be one thing good in my life, it has to be the way I am. Factually. That's why I have used every negative situation and transmuted it into a positive in my life. No matter what it is. I have chosen to not let anything work against me because it's a contradiction to what is fueling you for life. Got to stay in alignment with what's given me life and giving me the power to stay alive. Well, that doesn't involve any shame, blame, guilt, judgment, denial. No. Your life force doesn't know any of that. Only your human being and your belief system does. Guys, I encourage you all to get right with yourselves today and show up as the person you need to be for you. Because once you start doing that, it doesn't matter who is showing up for you in your life. And I'm hearing way too much excuses from people about, well, I had this for a life, right? And this is why I can't. And this is, you know what? Stop. Stop that shit. Keep it for somebody who maybe they deem that as valid, because I don't. Simple, I don't. No excuse is valid in my book, because I can't make excuses for myself. So I cannot accept excuses for another. You think I could make excuses when I had to kickstart my kidneys? No, I had to put in the work. Well, I did it. You think that I could make excuses for myself? As the doctors were telling me, yo, if you don't cut off your hand and your foot, you're dead. Well, I wasn't making excuses for them either, as I kept my hand and my foot. Okay? Like, guys, you really got to watch what you are allowing for you to have dependence on in your life for your well-being other than yourself. I think that's a huge point to it too. Take your outward focus about what everybody else is doing. And if you got to heal, do it. And if you got to fix your mindset, do it. And if you got to do whatever it is you got to do, fucking do it. Simple. The same way I have to. No matter what life has been. No excuses. Because if you're copping out on you and your life experience and your wellness and everything else. Well, I'm not copping out on my life. And I'm not copping out on anything of my future that I could possibly have because of anything of the past that no longer exists. So stop shackling yourself to all of these excuses because you're stuck in a state of emotional reaction from something that happened to you 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Fucking get over it. Yeah. And they always say you don't get over it, you work through it. Exactly. Well, time to have the courage to look at it, don't you think? Especially if it's crippling you the way it is. If you need some help, book some time. Because I tell you, I don't cradle or comfort anybody's chaos, eh? I quickly set you straight. Factually. Why? Because I couldn't pussyfoot around when I come to saving my life. Okay? I don't take this stuff for a joke. I don't take another person's wellness as a joke. And I don't take somebody's life experience as a joke. Because it's not. And I'm not going to rope you into constantly paying me without repair. I tell you that. You come work with me, I guarantee you, you're going to feel the effects after the first time. First time. You may not like it. But you'll guarantee open doors to your own self-love that you never knew existed. Trust that. I don't play around when it comes to that. Why? Because there was nobody that showed me how to do it. I had to do it alone. And even after the world and my life experience made me want to remove myself from it, I'm still okay. By choice. Well, if you guys want to be solid in your skin and stop depending on everybody else but your own damn self, reach out. And until you do, you can sit in your suffering. Because that's exactly what you're doing. So by you not taking the steps to fix it, you are inducing the self-suffering. Again, which is your choice. Hopefully you'll make the right choices for yourself this week. Because I know that's a must for me. I don't change according to who's in front of me and what situation or circumstance or scenario people can expect to get Tobi, the real Tobi, any time of any day, under any circumstance. Well, I'd like for you all to be as solid in your skin as that as well. And if today you're sitting there not as able to be authentically you as you need to be in your life, and you're being crippled by, hey, wearing all the constant masks and denying yourself of your true heart's desires and your truest wishes to people please and conform, well, you need some time with me. I love you all. Have a great day. Get the most out of it. Set that high vibe. Don't let anything stop you. Because if you let absolutely anything stop you from absolutely anything, it's only you that's stopping you. Factually. So, your brain is going to do that to keep you safe. Well, override it. Simple. And a lot of people have told me lately, oh, I can't control my thoughts. Well, if you can't fucking control your thoughts, who can? And I wrote that in one of my books too. All of this lack of self-accountability I'm hearing is crazy. And the way I see one person flip 5 different times according to what's in front of them and what interactions they're having is disgusting. So, guys, you got to own who you are. Be authentically you. Follow your heart and your intuition because that's your real guide. And stay authentically true to yourself. Be solid in your skin and let your word mean something. Because unless you're solid in your skin, your word means shit. And I will be the first one to tell you that. How do I know the difference? Because I mean what I say and I say what I mean and I don't change according to any person, place, thing, scenario, situation, or title attached. Guys, I hope and pray that you can do the same for yourselves today too. And if you can't, reach out. I can help you with that. I love you all. Have a great day. Peace.